Yo, what it do, support crew? Welcome back to another episode of the Moral Support podcast. Man, it's your host, Duane, joined with your brother, Des. And then we got a very special guest with us today, man, brother Virgil Moore. Very kind man, very gentle man, as I know. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
No doubt. How you guys doing? Everything?
Blessed, man. It's a great day. I can feel it already. The energy is going to be great on this episode. This is just a special guy, this man Virgil.
And we going to get into that a little bit. Why he's a little bit more special, you know what I'm saying? For sure. But no doubt.
How you feeling, Virgil?
I'm feeling good. Blessed to be here on this day. And just very intentional about everything that's going on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man. I'm glad to hear it. The weather's good, you know what I'm saying? The energy's good, the spirit's good. It's good to, share this time with you guys, man. But yeah, brother Virgil here, very special to the Moral Support podcast.
Let's get into it.
He's a wonderful creator. He helped us, he actually created our logo for Moral Support podcast. So if you guys, aren't familiar or you guys ain't really paid too much attention, Go look at it. Oh yeah, matter of fact, it should be right here. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead and take a look at that. And man, he does great work. Right now, you said you off of social right now, but eventually we'll be back and we'll be able to share his work. Or is it still up there by any chance?
It is, man. I kind of created a digital version of myself.
Okay.
To continue to post. That's why on the NPM page you see.
Okay.
Those posts still rolling out. I have not been on social media.
So they're still but it's like you posting, but you not posting.
Present, but I ain't present.
Okay,
Exactly.
that's tough. Okay, so yeah, for
That's
that, we'll put the link in the description. You guys can go check out his work, check out what he's about, man. It's wonderful work, wonderful guy. We appreciate you, brother.
Thank you.
No doubt.
Y'all.
So yeah, we just gonna go ahead and open this up.
Let's get into it,
Yeah,
man. We
we
ain't
trying
gotta
to
waste
get
no
to
time
know-
with this.
you
This
know-
is a deep brother. I want to get all the value we can.
Yeah.
Let's get our extraction going on.
Absolutely, man. It's a good energy, man. I love it. But we just got some questions. You know what I'm saying?
You want me? You want to go first? You want me to go first? Ping pong. We're going ping pong.
You'll go first. Yeah,
Let's go.
Sure.
So, where do we start with Virgil? Oh man, no. I just want to start. Keep it a little surface, I guess. I know you're a graphic designer, right? For BET, from my understanding.
Yes, sir.
Would you just speak to the experiences of what that done for you and how that has inspired you beyond? Which I know there's a testimony with that, with you not being there anymore.
Yeah.
So you just start with the experiences of working for BET.
Absolutely. So, man, very.
Wait, hold on. You said BET?
Yeah.
Wait, we not gonna fly over that. You know what I'm saying? BET?
Listen, I said it a few times. Yeah, he was a graphic designer for BET.
Wow, bro, I didn't know that. That's crazy.
See,
That's crazy.
We learning. Let's get into it.
Okay. Oh, man, y'all better listen up. Y'all trying to get there, y'all better listen up. All right, man, let's get into it.
Yeah, and it's so crazy how, this message I'll start out with, right? Because one of my bosses that worked there told me, he's like, you can never lose when you're authentically you. So that place taught me that because I've been authentically me the whole time and stayed true, number one, now I get to be in a room full of people who really understand it at a high level, which I robbed myself of. God gave me a second chance. So it felt really good to be around people who have shaped the history of what we saw around us, right? So I'm at BET. They're creating stuff for Outkast. Some of my people that I work with created stuff for the Rough Riders, created the logo.
Oh, yeah,
right?
for Rough Riders?
For Rough Riders, right?
Y'all know who that is, man. Check, you know what I'm saying? Look it up.
Yes,
You know what I'm saying? One of the greatest, you know what I'm saying, ever do it.
And it's crazy, right? Because it felt surreal. We grew up watching BET, and it created and shaped our culture. And just to sit down and to be a part of the influence that we can put on the masses is mind-blowing, right? Like, I'm sitting down with people that can change my life, and still I'm in connection with to this day. And it really molded and formed me for what I have to do for my business, because we had that talk. And Daz,
early.
And he was saying that, would you rather have your dream job or dream career or dream?
Oh, how was it? It was dream job or dream business?
Business. But basically, getting that, do what you love to do full time, and you get a chance to do it right now. And that's
ultimately, yeah.
Okay.
Was toward the end of it. I was about to be done. I figured out I had 2 weeks to, it's crazy, man. number one, got married.
I was about to say. So start us off at the beginning. How did this whole process go? Of you,
I got you. I'll do the gritty. So I'm sitting in my mom's basement, and I'm designing like I do any day, right? And I see this email come in because I check my email periodically throughout the day, and it's like, I'll keep his name out, but it says, we're looking to interview you, and I'm like, number one, I'm investigative. So I start to look into like his name, and I searched him on Google and found his website, his LinkedIn. I said, okay, it's a real person.
Verified.
You feel me? Let me verify this email real quick because no one's about to spam me. You want to see if I can work for BET? Yeah, what's up? So I immediately responded, and I was the first to respond. He said out of the people that reached out to him. Okay. So I'm going to tell you how he found me. I'm on Twitter years ago, and I found this platform called Blacks Who Design. And I put a little profile on there, and it's like a little directory. Can't be harmless to be a part of something like that. Okay. But that's how he found me, because he was looking for black designers. And he said that my style stood out from the rest.
Okay. That's crazy.
So from that point, we got on the phone call, and we did the interview, and I got the job the next day. So that's how I started with BET.
So some people think it would, be extremely hard to. I mean, not saying it's easy, because I'm sure your work again speaks for itself. So that's what. But it's the work that was going on before you even seen the opportunity. The opportunity wasn't even there. Yeah, it started in the basement, literally. Yeah. And I just think that's dope, because a lot of people think that, okay, well, first I'm gonna try to get an interview, then I'm gonna show them what I can do, or I might have a couple mock-ups or something like that just to push out there. But it's like you wasn't even necessarily looking for that. You was just doing what you love to do, and it just ended up working out in your favor because you love to do it. You was kind of, and I just think that's dope. But I'll let you, what I'm saying?
I'm just sitting here thinking as you're speaking, because over the years I've been very intentional. And the more I get older, the more intentional I become. It's one of my superpowers. And I remember I would look in the mirror and I would say to myself, I will be the best graphic designer, or one of the best that come out and do it. Right. And I would look in the mirror and I could close my eyes and still see that vision to this day, what bathroom I was in, how the lighting was, where I was living, and it still holds true. And I have a lot of impact. And for example, you guys, I was able to help just see the vision, right? Like went through a couple of rounds of work and still was able to bring it to fruition. And that's important, being able to see it. But to get back to the point, working at BET was life-changing.
Okay.
No one just is found.
Right.
By
Come on now.
a place like that. They found me. They saw out me.
And you felt appreciated, I bet.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. And what it did was two things, right? Positive and negative. Positive, it knocked me off of the pedestal that I was on, that people placed me on. And I love that. Because now I can hear that this isn't good enough. We need you to work at this level. And that's what I needed.
That's lovely.
And I didn't get pushed, because everybody's like, hooray, this is great, this is good. And what that does is it stunts your growth, because you need to know when you're messing up. And they showed me where I can improve on a professional level, right? So, that changed my life, because I had people holding me accountable.
Amazing.
Now, was you working with other graphic designers at BET to, kind of, hone in on your craft, work on your craft and stuff like that? Was they giving you, tips and, things that you can do to improve?
Absolutely. My art director, man, I tell him every chance I get, you changed my life. I tell him we went to New York. They invited me and my wife out to New York last month.
Oh, that's dope.
And we went, and it was just because they did a kickback after work. They wanted me to come. They said BET family. And I haven't worked there for almost under a year, and I was still invited because I'm still part of the family.
That's dope.
And I got to tell him to his face and everybody there, y'all changed my life.
That's love.
That's dope.
And got to be in New York for the first time as an adult, to have fun with my wife, that.
As an adult, to be enjoying the moment for what it actually was, and understanding what you were doing there, that. And I think that's amazing, bro. Just having them connections and them relationships that you built throughout your professional career, and I'm sure even along that, it's a little bit more intimate when somebody that changes your life in a way that you have your perspective, and I think that you being there, allowing yourself to kind of express that and kind of feel that love and that appreciation. I can only imagine, bro. You're making me I can't wait till I get to that point. You know what I'm saying? Or feel something like that.
That's amazing.
That's amazing.
So we could all assume, right? But what was your exact responsibilities at BET? I know you're a graphic designer.
Yep.
So what did they bring you on? What was their actual? We need you to do this. What was your niche?
Yep. So social media posts. So specialized one for like happy birthdays, or if there's like major events going on. Mainly, I was under position temp pole designer, which is for the award shows. So as YouTube thumbnails are being created and pictures are being snapped by the Getty Image professional photographer, excuse me, they send them to me. I upload them as the everything's going on live. I will be sitting there uploading, and the team is corresponding with each other. We're all live. Some are at the red carpet at the event, and some of us are remote working as a team. And I would say that's probably one of the biggest things, right, is they had me doing the social media posts. They had me doing the website blog header posts. So a lot of that stuff I was touching. I created logos for segments on YouTube. I touched a lot of work.
Yeah.
I'm sure this over time you probably just got involved with so much.
Yeah. How many years did you work there?
2.
2 years.
And I got to see my name in the credits at the BET Awards, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Which it says digital designer.
Bro, I was about to say, I couldn't even imagine that feeling, bro. Like, and just being a creator, knowing how many other creators are out there, but knowing that your name is there, not the other, I don't even know, 300,000 people out there in the world who probably does what you do, but not how you do it. You know what I'm saying? But seeing your name up there, you know what I'm saying? It's probably a different feeling. It's probably wonderful. And it's, you know, whenever you work, I mean, even working with us, bro, like the whole process was excellent. Like, you know, you listened to what we said. You know, gave us designs, you know, of what we told you. And if we was like, oh, we kind of went like this, boom, change. You know what I'm saying? Here you go. Here's another one. And I think that process was so excellent and easy for us to not even be in that lane, not even really knowing exactly what we wanted. Like, we didn't even have a full, like, vision on exactly what we wanted. We just knew an idea of what we wanted. And that came to life very quick because of the way you work. So, you know, again, excellent is probably the word I would use for your professional, you know, for your professional self. And I'm sure being at the BET Awards, you've probably seen a ton of excellence.
Had to.
Man, just to touch on the point real quick, just going back to working with me and my process is that, like, communication is key. It's the number one core value of my business. So you guys already know what you want and understand the vision of it. I'm just the one that understand what exists for that vision, right? So, like, I understand what colors, what fonts, what shapes that respond well to the intent behind the overall mission, right? So we choose those. And y'all already gave me a palette to work from. So it was like, let's keep this inspiration and mix it with this meaning, and then it's going to hit that point every time someone see it. So that's why y'all felt the way y'all did, because I have to make sure to take care, right? I don't want to, and I won't even take anyone's business, or we won't work if you're not ready.
Yeah.
So I know you told us before, but for the audience, how do you determine if somebody is ready or not to do business with you?
So everything has prerequisites. Like, for me, my prerequisite for getting someone a logo design done is a business plan. Because I but I desire for everyone who works with me and come in contact with me to be directional and intentional. So we need for you to hit those business goals on the head, and we need you to be successful. Because as our numbers as Black and brown people, as Black people in general, minority, whatever you want to call it, it's not high. We don't have.
It's actually significantly low.
Yeah, you know, super low.
To our peers, yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
And what I desire is just Verge Boogie Designs help small businesses and entrepreneurs create clarity and direction. So if you're coming from the hustle culture, we're not going to accept that. We're going to transform.
What's the hustle culture?
Oh, man.
The grit, the nitty gritty, you know what I'm saying? Doing the dirty work, you know what I'm saying?
The guys that's on the corner selling the water, but they passionate about selling the water, but they ain't got no plan. That's the hustle. They know how to move, but not with direction.
Got you.
There's a difference. And a lot of us come from that survival mentality.
Yeah, come on.
That provokes business to be done in that manner. And it limits our growth and scalability for our overall operation. So in order to save that, let's go ahead and create some direction.
Now, is that something that you learned from BET on, like, how to kind of operate as a professional as far as doing work for other people, or as far as what you demanded as a creator? Now, is that like something you picked up there, or is that just something you kind of just took like on your own to move with that? Yeah, when you do business.
I like to dissect things.
Okay,
So,
that's like a you thing. Yeah. Okay.
So like my natural response to anything is to go deeper, right? So like I need to know more. Like why am I just designing logos for people, but it only gets this far? Let me back up. A logo is a part of something called a brand identity. Your brand identity is part of something called your brand strategy. And your strategy is what allows you to carry forth your intent in business successfully. So if we're not setting up strategy before business, but we're worried about our looks, you lost. We too vain.
But there's an image with no identity. Like,
Absolutely.
It makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah.
I know when you worked with us, you definitely was heavy on that, and that brought us together more and actually made our gears start turning because, yeah, we know moral support is our podcast, but what is moral support? You got us thinking, and then we were able to actually structure it and write it down and actually come up with, because you're right, like sometimes we got this thought and this idea, and it's just up there, and we have an idea of what the idea is, but we have no real structure behind it and no identity really that's like written down, actually placed in the confinement of this is what it is. This is our why. This is our when. This is our how. And like really understanding that, and then it helped us flourish, if I may say so, because now we have that written and we can refer back to it even when we for a second get to think like, well, why are we doing this? This is why. This is why. You know, and this is what we got to stick to. This is the game plan. This is our mantra. This is our Bible. This is our Constitution. Like this is what moral support is. So
Absolutely.
you know, it helped us a lot.
No, absolutely. I mean, I can definitely attest to that. I think because like it sounds good on paper. Like when you ask us, like, oh, like, okay, so what's it about? We're like, well, you know, we would like to share experiences with people so they could gain moral support. But then it's like, okay, so like dig deeper into it. So like, how are you going to construct this? You know, this podcast. Like, how are you going to move about it? How are people going to view it? You know, and in what way? What's the vibe going to be like? What's the energy going to be like? Yeah. And all this stuff is like stuff that I didn't really think. I'm thinking like, okay, we sit down, we talk about you know our stuff, you know, in front of a camera and some microphones, and just go from there, you know. But then whenever we work with you kind of got us to think a little bit deeper. Okay, like so this isn't like we're going to be a little bit more intentional on how we're going to move about each segment through the podcast. You know what I'm saying? And actually understand what we're talking about, where we're trying to get at, and what we're trying to extract from our guest or from our conversations that we have with ourselves, and when it's just two of us. So I think no, I mean, again, bro, working with you was excellent. Like you not only for the logo, but for just how we move as, you know, podcast hosts. You helped us a lot just with that. And I think that was dope. And it was not even something I don't think that you necessarily even like meant to do really, because we could have already had that down, but it's, you know, you hit somewhere where we didn't even really expect. And it was like, oh, okay. I think we should, you know, probably listen up and try to get something for that.
And it was mutual though, because he needed that to really hone into the creation, what he was trying to create. Like he needed that, and it showed it after we did our second round of, you know, revisals. It was like he got it now. He see where we're coming from. He's understanding. You know.
We felt it. Like like we told you, like when we was going to see the one, like we knew when it would be the one. Like you know what I'm saying. You could put out 50 of them, but there's always that like one that you're kind of looking for. You don't know exactly what it looked like, but you can feel it. And the one that, you know, the one that's up to right now was the one, and I think you did. I mean, all of them looked amazing, but this one
was our identity though. And then that's so go back to that realm of the conversation. I love that because it is easy just to start and do this. You know what I mean? Hustle and the hustle mentality, just sit down and do what you want to do. But to gain sustainability and to scale, you need that identity. You need that structure. So that process of you vetting, you know, all your people that you work with out is just it's excellent, bro.
Man, I came from years of experience of working with people I didn't want to work with. Right? And learning different personality types and staying away from the ones I don't want to work with. And having that power, right? Like, because going back to what y'all were talking about, my goal is to make you think. I don't want to see nobody work with me and be like, I'm failing. Don't put me a part of that. I made sure, and to your point, I created a framework. For strategy, so we can all be successful and keep learning by the day, so I can sharpen my skill for everyone else that's working with me in the team, right? So that was very important for everyone to sustain and to grow more from just an initial idea, because the idea and the intent behind your original thought for what you want to do is so strong.
Yeah.
We need to extract all of that gold and make you think a little deeper on how you want to have this impact go to somebody else. Let's take ourselves out the situation. Let's go ahead and think about what this is going to do for people. And then you make that the forefront. And that's how you feel. Because there's a lot of people that be like, well, I like the color blue. Well, is blue going well in the fitness industry right now?
Come on.
Right? Does it activate energy when someone's looking at it? Right? We need like this color around here, this energizing orange, because that's the psychology behind it. So I help people dig deep in that realm. They're now able. That's why it made sense to y'all, because I dug deep and understood the colors, the fonts, the shapes, and everything that played a part.
The lighting, all of it.
Lighting, all of that played a part in that.
Absolutely. And then things came together so well because, we're from a Key Sports, so we had the Key Sport colors in there, unintentionally, because we didn't request that, nor did we. Then
we didn't even think about it.
Yeah, so that came together, and then shout out to you too, because we put on some clothing and it looks great on clothing. And that was one of my biggest things learning from, doing the brand and stuff and having that logo created without a graphic designer. So it was like, when we do this one, let's make sure whatever we get can look good on clothing.
Right.
And it looks excellent, bro.
Good. That's the point. We need visibility. We need for someone to recognize and for them to memorize who we are. Because when they see that, they're going, number one, the pulse through that is a graphical image, because we pick up on shapes first in the mind before words, because it takes us a moment to understand it. Right. So introducing a graphical element can help you become more of a stain in someone's mind in a good way, right?
Man, for you guys out there trying to start a business, I'm telling you, listen to this, because it all means something. Yeah. Every little detail means something in whatever you're trying to do. So in order to put that vision out there and to get other people to kind of lock in and look into what you're doing, this is all valuable. So I hope you guys are listening.
These are just nuggets, but hey, he does business coaching, correct?
And that's business what I'm coaching as well. And I want to coach businesses more, and I have that desire, because I'm a man of faith. I'm a man of God, and you have to do what you're supposed to do, what your purpose is. And I'm learning your purpose is what you're naturally good at. And what I'm naturally good at is this, talking, coaching, being there for people. And when we put that with business, because we live in an economic world where we got to have the money, let's go ahead and do it for businesses, where it's going to make sense. Because, you have to pay me and everything, but first the thing I provide is a free consultation, because I care. Number one, for me, because I don't want to take on nobody that isn't ready. But also guide them in the right way. But number two, just to make sure that they get everything they need first. Before I say, you need a logo? Sure. Give me your money and we'll figure it out later.
Right.
That's
so disrespectful.
And it's just, a lot of times it's not going to work. Like, it's not going to flourish. You might be able to give them a logo, but it's happening for the wrong reasons, almost at that point.
If any reason at all.
Yeah, any reason at all. Correct.
I could pull up some logos on that, man.
See.
I was gonna ask a couple of questions, like, have you, dealt with some people that I was just like, no, I don't want to do none of that. Just give me a logo, and they don't really care for the business plan or the strategy or anything like that. They just want the logo and they just pay you any money, and that's cool.
Yeah, I have people who do that right now, and I still question if their strategy is there, if it's present, what's your plan, what's your mission statement, what's your why. Because when we're doing everything in business, we're communicating that through our actions, the way we speak. You guys even have a name for the people who support your podcast.
Yeah.
Right? The more supporters.
Support crew. Support crew stand up.
Support crew.
You feel me? Yeah. So, we have all of these things that are brandable, that are important for our business to grow. These things they can build a relationship with, right? Now they're a part of something.
Community.
Bigger than just you guys sitting down and talking about whatever we talk about. Whatever we want to talk about. You feel me? Deep.
That is because I told him that, and it kind of, we didn't even do that intentionally. He just said it one day, and it was like, bro, hold up, what you just say? Because
he made me say it like 4 times, 4 or 5 times. He's like, no, say that again. Like, support you.
He did that with it. He did that when we got moral support as well. He just sped past it. He was like, how about more? And then went on to something else. I said, bro, chill, rewind. Like, you said the one, bro, stop. It just be that though. So it's like, when you realize people who actually podcast or the people who have trying to build community, when they don't have something for their supporters, like a label or identity to give them, it's like there's a disconnect. You know what I mean? Because like you said, it's like, y'all are moral support, and who are we?
Right.
Support crew, you know what I mean? So it's just like, once you find people actually look, I know big podcasters right now who actually look for things like that, who like struggle because they can't find that connect with the community, and because their podcast is named something that is kind of hard for them to connect something. But it's
absolutely
genuine and authentic is our thing. So even when we do our podcast, you just seen how authentic this was. I mean, as far as the start and everything, but it's like we never obviously want to compromise the structure of things.
Gotcha.
But we still like to be authentic about how we do things. So as much as the planning and everything is so important, we still like to leave leisure for, error and just the authenticity of us being us. So
yeah, I mean, we're not perfect, obviously, and we're not wordsmith, but like, we're not going to cut every time we stutter or like, you know what I'm saying, or mess up a word or nothing like that. But I mean, like I said, bro, I don't do nothing but show up, you know what I'm saying, or help set up, help clean up. But beforehand, like, I mean, as you've seen, we talked a bit, but to be honest, like, we don't even talk that much before we start. Like, we just get right into it, and then whatever is on, like, we might have a general conversation, like, okay, like, here, we go touch on this. Hop right into it. That's just a conversation. That's just how it goes. Like, nothing is really, and it goes smoothly because, like I said, I'm not, we're not going to be asking you no questions, or we're not going to be talking about nothing that neither of us know anything about, really. But you know what I'm saying? But it's all just genuine, just regular conversation as we would have at the crib. You know what I'm saying? And it is, and it's good for the audience to get to know everybody and stuff like that. So it's real easy for everybody, easy going, real smooth. But
just extracting that value.
Absolutely, in each conversation, it's always there. It's always there. Whether you go pick it up or not, that's on you guys. But yeah, that's just what it is. But I did want to ask, so like, what is your ultimate vision for graphic design? Like, do you always want to be a designer, or would you like to kind of teach other people how to go about it and kind of lead it like that way? Or do you? Because I'm assuming like actually being a designer is a little bit more intimate with the customers and stuff. But if you were to teach like a panel of people or a group of people how to do it and kind of follow your principles on how to do it, is that like something bigger that you see for yourself in the future? Or
yeah, that's a good question. That's where I'm at right now. Like, in the transitional phase, I touched on that earlier. I'm transitioning from being the designer to like wanting to be an art director.
Okay.
In a business.
So that's what it's called, the art director. I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
They direct just the whole overall process of how things will go. They understand the ins and outs and can direct people on how to make it be what the intended request is. So for me, I have artists I work with, and when someone's reaching out to me for work, there's a process they go through. So in that process, I get all that information, then I delegate. Okay. And that's just what helps the overall everything. So I don't want to design forever. It's fun, but I was just going through this, that I haven't designed something for myself in a long time. Yeah. And that will really disconnect you from the love of what you do. And my friend and he works with me, my good friend Jared, he works with me, and he really went in and was like, bro, you got to design something for yourself.
No, that can mean anything though, right? It can mean anything. It don't have to mean it's not talking about just logos or anything like that. It could be anything in life. And I mean art in general, like, you look at cars, or you look at your house, or you look at honestly your relationship, and you're kind of creating and designing how you want that to, that to go. And I think that is I'm sure being in your position, like art and creating and designing is a lot deeper than just what you see on the surface, right?
It's very deep, because I want to make the distinction that I learned recently about art and design. And art is more of an expression, where design is more for function and communication. So
say that again, closer to the mic, please.
So art is more of an expression, and design is more for function and communication. Okay. So it's meant to send a message every time. Everything is intentional. Why? Like, for example, your shirt, the one in the hood, they have contrast for someone to read it correctly, right? So, like, there's that right there that people need to understand. So, yeah,
dope design too.
Yeah, man. There's a lot that goes into it, and I've been studying this for 10 years now, and I'm in a way different place. Yeah.
So I know earlier you said that you kind of been taking a break off of social media. And earlier before the pod, you had mentioned, I'm sorry, stop me if I'm getting too personal, but you said that you kind of just in a transition of your life right now to get back to, who Verge is. Now, is that something that the creator side of you have kind of like took a toll on, like as being there for everybody else, designing stuff for everybody else, and not necessarily being there for Verge. And for those who don't know, there's a men's mental health network in Pittsburgh, man, and Verge has been the pioneer of it. You know what I'm saying? He's posting, he's talking, he's hosting, he's here co-hosting events. He bring people in. He's always the one speaking and bringing men in to talk about mental health. I went to one. I wish I could have been to more, but it's always a dope event. But he is a pioneer of it. He leads the way. He's the one. He's bringing everything and everybody together. And, the one that's intentional on reaching out to everybody to make sure that we make it to these events and to these talks and stuff like that. So I do want to say I appreciate you and thank you for that, because, I mean, that day, I remember after the first one we had here, actually, in the lunchbox, I went and told Jerome. I said, "Bro, you got to come next time I go." Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because it's something I feel like you could definitely use. And a lot of people could use it. But, I definitely, when you mentioned that to me, I just wanted to make sure that your mental health is good and everything, because you are always there for everybody else, inviting people to come share their mental health with you. So I just wanted to ask you, how are you doing?
Man, brother, you asked a lot. I'm glad that you asked that, because I'm going to spend some time on this question, right?
Absolutely, I want you to,
unpack it.
With a couple of quotes that I've been hearing. I've been listening to the brother 19 Keys and the brother Nuri Muhammad. In their talk, he stated that you can't be all things to everybody and nothing to yourself.
Right.
And that's where I was for a long time, is all things to everybody and nothing for Virgil. So when I took a step back from that, because, of course, in life, you understand, as you move away from your God-intended purpose, there becomes resistance and friction that happens in your life. And when that happens, you have to start to really question what's going on. And that requires stillness, and that requires solitude. So for the past 3 weeks, I have been in solitude. And in my solitude, I've noticed that I've moved away from the authentic Virgil. I've known him, the last time we've encountered is college. That's because I had freedom. Nothing attached to my responsibility like it is now.
Wasn't a father then?
Nope.
Okay.
Yep, daughters too.
Nor a husband?
Nope.
Okay.
None of that.
Okay.
So you only had to worry about Verge.
I only had to worry about Verge, so I'm doing what Verge want. I'm self-full, not selfish, but I'm self-full, taking care of me, doing the things that make me happy. So it really destroyed me to be there for everybody and to get on phone calls and to talk to the people, and it really burnt me out. So I took time to take care of myself and to pour back into me, because it's important that I'm able to arrive for the occasion, whatever is needed, right? Am I getting my proper rest? Am I eating correctly? Am I working out? Am I focused on what's going on in my mind, my body, and my spirit? Or am I distracted every chance I get to scroll on social media? That's why I had to cut that out. Yeah. To take care of me and to hear my true, authentic voice, right? Not my ego. We need to kill that, right? Yeah, a lot of people are having inflated egos because social media makes you, right, show up and be somebody you're not. And a lot of people are out here acting like they doing something and they ain't putting no real work. Jeez. So what you out here doing in front on social media about? We gotta talk about this because it's important that we don't. That's what creates narcissists. Huge.
That is, I think, man, that's up there with our generation. It's just that ego. Yes. I mean, it's always been there. It's always been around. But I mean, social media, I think, created a lot of
alter egos.
Because everybody feel like they have to be somebody. Just be yourself and not feel like you have to be a millionaire, run up so much money in business and do all of these grand things when you can't even reach the simple first step, right? Absolutely. A lot of people want to make $1 million in business, 20,000, all these numbers. Can you save 1,000?
Come on now.
Do you have an emergency fund?
Come on now.
Right? Because I was getting into this trap of thinking that I'm about to make all this money, but are my finances are in order as they should be to reach that and sustain that and scale that? No, I think I'm about to just do this get rich quick scheme and come up. No, use your discernment. Is this a part of your purpose? Is this something that makes you money, or is it a part of your purpose? Because you can make yourself money from it, but you're going to be dead on the inside. Yeah. Doing something that you think is going to provide generational wealth for your family, but you're killing the moment you could be there for yourself and for others around you. So it's something I had to do for me to rescue me.
Okay.
I love that.
I was on the edge and I was ready to jump. to become something I'm not. Come on. Because somebody made it sound good. Mm-hmm. You feel me? Mm-hmm. And that was social media and what I was doing at a certain time in my life. So slowing down allowed me to really pinpoint what Virgil needed to do, and that's just spend time with me. Mm-hmm. Alone in my thoughts, spend time with nature. Mm-hmm. I actually picked up a job too, something I was against.
Did you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Oh, congratulations, brother. You know what I'm saying? And you know what? I think it's important because a lot of people crap on jobs and 9 to 5s or doing it, but I think it's kind of necessary in a sense because you learn how to appreciate the time that you do have for yourself, or it makes you appreciate the grind a little bit because it's like, okay, I know I don't want to be here forever, but I know I need this to use it as a vehicle to get me to where I want to be. Absolutely. And you kind of appreciate, okay, I got to wake up at 5 or I got to wake up at 6 or I got to whatever time. Don't nobody want to be there, but it's almost necessary for your personal growth to get you to where you want to be.
Absolutely.
And I think that's big, bro, because it's just there's so much groundwork that's being put in within that, that people don't see. Like on social media, oh, yeah, I want to be a business owner. I want to do this. You're not ready to be a business owner.
This is what creates the real life experience that we all need to resonate with our true self, because we can't, when we're chasing things that are above our scope, above the skill set that we have, right? Like a lot of us don't even have and have not put in the time or study and practice to do the things that we're aspiring to do. And that will really create some cognitive dissonance, some separation from yourself. And then you're out here not really being yourself and you're lost and you think you're connected. You're not. You need real life experience with real people around you that live around you. This is the truth. Social media is fine to get a perspective of what's going on in the world and to connect. However,
motivation. There's good stuff on it, but there's a lot of
it's a distraction, man.
A lot of distractions.
You spit out the bone. Screw up the meat, spit out the bone. So you went from BET to a full-time entrepreneur, correct?
Yep.
Full-time entrepreneur. How long did you do that before life took you into maybe I need a 9 to 5 for this moment or this season or beyond?
I ain't gonna lie, I read unemployment out, so like 7-8 months. You know what I mean? And what I realized is that if you're not ready, you're not ready.
That's it. You're just not ready. And that's just what it is.
I didn't take it as serious as I should have, and me working the job puts me back in that fire up under me. Like I don't want to be here. I have dreams. Remember who you are, Virgil. You woke up and you said that you wanted to run a business and you wanted to help people. Then do that. Show up. Stay to your commitments. Be on time, be early, right? And be on point and do more than what you're paid for. Right. These are the things that are going to advance you. Create, spend time with yourself, nourish yourself so you can be there. Quit trying to do extra stuff that is not aligned with your purpose. Do what you know is true to you. And I stepped away from that. And me coming closer to that, man, I done gave myself a big old hug. I done mentally went through every stage of my life where I was hurt and I was damaged. And I hugged myself in my current version. And I told Virgil, I said, I love you.
Come on now.
I said, I love you and it's okay. So anybody who's watching this, take some time to close your eyes and forgive your younger self and to forgive who you were and the mistakes that you made, because that's important.
That's a lifetime. That's a lifetime of experiences and necessary tools to utilize, because you always gonna have to forgive yourself for maybe today. You might have to forgive yourself from yesterday. Today you might have to forgive yourself for your 10-year-old version of you. Like it's gonna have to happen, and that's a great tool, bro. So in that aspect of you being that entrepreneur going back into the workforce, again, I'm sure it was the path of more resistance, so to speak. It probably felt like it anyway, but you realize, like you said, you killed the ego. You realize I'm going to leverage this. This is going to be going through the fire, getting refined, and coming out on the other end something better.
Yes.
And that's so important, speaking to the world of, entrepreneurship and also those who are in the workforce, whether you're trying to split the two or just balance either one. You have to really gather that understanding that either side, there's a moment of leverage there. There's opportunity of leverage. So you being in that 9 to 5, like you said, I get the leverage showing up, all the principles, right? Because we don't count these things. People are like, I want to work for myself because I want to be on my own time. If you're on your own time, you can't respect somebody else's time.
Right.
What time? What type of time you gonna show up for yourself on? I gotta get up to work somebody else's dream, but you probably gonna need somebody to work your dream one day as well. So like you gotta leverage and find a respect for these things while you're at the ground level, so you can actually be that general and beyond. But if you could just speak to some of those, like maybe 3 core values of yours that like you were really are learning to leverage now that you're separate because you know you were on the other side.
Yeah.
You went full-time entrepreneur, and then you're back here and you're like, what is your 3 values that like I'm going to leverage here?
Man, community, number one. Oh, man, I'm learning to say I need help. I'm going to tell y'all right now, it's not a weak or a low thing to ask for help. Ask for help. Community. So community is the number one core value.
Okay.
Is that we should lean into more. There are people who love you, that will take care of you, that will support you, that you should lean into. Don't feel like that you're using them unless you are. Get it yourself. Right?
Yeah.
But if you're not using them, then community, lean into them. See how others around you can help you, right? So that's
use your resources. Yeah. A lot of people don't use their resources because they're afraid to ask for help, or they're afraid to look like they don't have it all together. Yeah. I mean, we all have, bro. Like, I mean, I'm super stubborn when it comes to asking for help. Like, I mean, I ask for help when I need it, and there's a lot of times where I needed it. So I mean, don't get me wrong, I asked for it. You know what I'm saying? But
don't wait till the need is so urgent, though.
I try to always be like, you know what, I can make it happen. I can do it. I can do it. And I you know, and I feel strongly and confident in myself that I could do it. But sometimes there's some things you can't do. You know, you're not always going to be Superman. You're not always going to have everything situated and put out. So I mean, just it comes with the pride of being a man. You know, because we want to be that man that we don't need help. We're the helpers. We're the one that's trying to put everybody else on and make sure everybody else is good. So you know, we don't want to kind of lose that pride of being weak, or you know what I'm saying. But that's not what it is. It's really not, because a lot of people, pretty much anybody who made it to the top, had help.
They leverage somebody.
They
utilize somebody relationship wise.
They use their resources. And I don't think, and again, community, when you got a community of people who's willing to pour into each other, like that means you ask them for help, they ask you for help. Y'all both pour in the same amount. You know what I'm saying? There is no...
It's mutual.
Yeah, it's mutual. You know what I'm saying? And that help, again, is looking different. They might need help with money, and they might ask you for love. Or, you know what I'm saying?
Come on now.
And now, I mean, like, they might just need a hug. They might need somebody to talk to. They might need somebody to just be there with them while they go through their... you know, they're fired.
But it was mutual, because whatever you needed was met, and whatever need was here was met. So we each make each other needs. No matter, they don't got to reciprocate and look the same. I don't got to give you a water, you give me a water back. Like, you needed a water, I needed some food. Now we good. I'm fed. You know, you're not longer thirsty. So that's great. So community being the first value.
So I'm gonna just call this the 3 C's. So it's like
I love it.
Community, communication. Right?
Okay.
Like, if you're not actively listening or speaking up for yourself, like I just talked about, then you're not going to receive what you need in your pursuit to your goal. So communicate everything that is on your mind. You'll figure out how to get it from where, because when you communicate, you put the energy out there, then your mind starts to subconsciously look for these things. So we have to communicate out loud, on paper, write the plan, be detail oriented. So community, communication, and confidence. Confidence is a big thing, because it will either it will keep you going. So in times of nervousness and high anxiety, I speak and I say confidence over and over. And what that does is it straightens your back up, it pushes your chest out, and it raises your head up.
Now, how does one build confidence for themselves?
By showing up for themselves and coming through for themselves.
Even when they don't feel confident, right? But still just doing it. Just doing it anyway.
Because confident is a being, it's not a feeling.
Right. And you have to, everything that you desire is already in you. You just have to bring it forth. So that's why I speak on saying confidence in my mind, because when you know, we all know what confidence is. You speak it enough, you start to assume it with your body posture, and it's a chemical reaction. When you start to say depressing, sad things, we take on that nature. But if I say empowering, strong thoughts, I'm confident. I could do this. I got it, right? Then we approach it more with confidence, even if we mess up. And we give ourselves grace in that moment, because we know that we tried, and it's better than not trying.
Right.
So community, communication, and confidence are 3 core values that I've learned in this time, because in the time of being an entrepreneur, you need those things to show up and to show out for yourself, for others. So without those, then, you know, you will lack the resources because you don't have a community. You will lack the intention because you didn't write it down, think it out, speak it, or ask it. And that goes along with the execution of it. And then you will lack the will to do, because you won't feel like you want to do it, because you don't have any confidence. You don't have nothing inside you saying that you can do it. That inner voice is killing you.
Right.
It's telling you that.
Come on.
Always it's weird, because I'm like, why do we go into things with a losing mentality? I'm going to lose, or I hope I don't lose, or I hope that things go well. No, speak confidence into whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
And it will come to fruition.
And I think
I like
even
the 3 C's, like a triangle effect, like because they each go back and pour into each other.
Oh, facts.
Think about it, like the community is a big one. That might be at the bottom as foundation, and then that pours into your communication skills. It gives you that opportunity to even talk to individuals such as or like-minded, and even if they're not, empower them, maybe or get empowered. And then you got the confidence boost between those two things because you got people pouring into you, people sharpening you. Your communications as a whole, like we talked about that before. Like we're gonna have a segment on that just alone one day, but they just pour into each other so well, Lisa.
Yeah, no, I was about to go somewhere like that with it. I was just saying how important them 3 things are because, again, bro, we talked about this on the podcast a few times on having a community. I'm talking about having a community, like family.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people don't have family.
Right.
Having friends. A lot of people have a hard time finding friends.
Right.
Or just finding people who's honestly on the same type of path as you.
Right.
Or understand. The path may look different, but if y'all's up here with it, y'all kind of understand the journey a little, like as kind of similar, like, you know what I'm saying? Then those are people that you could pour into and they'll pour right back into you without hesitation because they know that's what it takes. And, I think eventually that kind of builds confidence for yourself because as you're going through the community, the communication of talking and getting these things out, it makes you feel, okay, I'm not the only one. I can do it. I have people that I can also push. So I'm seeing it from my perspective to them, but I can also understand their perspective of me. You know what I'm saying? These same people who's looking at me a certain way, I understand that. Like, I understand why they think that I can make it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I'm starting to see it for myself. But even, again, bro, just showing up for yourself every day.
That real life experience, everything you were talking about. That's, again, that fuels that confidence. It's like being lost in the social media and drawing inspiration from that instead of real life can really just.
Because you're not thinking about the steps that it takes to get there. You see your situation, then you see the beach.
Right.
Then you see your situation, highlight. Then you see the beach house. Then you see your situation, and you see you out the country having the time of your life. You know what I'm saying? But you don't see
play ride, the finance.
You don't even see the hours that's put in to afford that. You know what I'm saying? You don't see nothing, bro. You don't see what it took to wake up every day to get to that point. You just see this. You see what's in front of you in real life, and then you look at your screen, you see, Japan, or
and then you hate yourself.
Yeah, because it's like, why can I do it? Why can I do it? I feel like I'm doing everything I can, but you are doing everything that you can. If you are,
if you're honest about it.
If you're honest about it, if you are truly waking up, working your butt off every day, and trying to learn to become a better version of yourself, honestly, then you are doing the right thing. Eventually you will get to wherever you want to be. You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't just happen like, okay, I work a 9 to 5. I think I deserve $1 million tomorrow to go on vacation. That's not how it works. Like, you don't get it. You don't like my mentor, for example. We had went to Shenandoah. We went hiking recently, and we talk about all types of things all the time. And I'm not going to say exactly how much, but he got a bonus recently, and it was however much you think a brand new car is. That's how much his bonus was. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, yeah, but it is what it is. And I'm working my 9 to 5. I'm like, I made that last year, like the whole year. Your bonus is what I made last year. You know what I'm saying? So, and he's like, yeah, they do this, but he's real nonchalant. But mind you, he's 38, 39, bro. He's been in school since he graduated high school.
Come on now.
He been in college, like he been taking courses and stuff, bro. Like he's about to go back to get his PhD, but he's been taking classes. Like he didn't go after I think his master. I forget exactly how it went, but after that he didn't go like back to back. He was just taking 2 courses, 3 courses. A year, like, you know what I'm saying? Slight, but he's still in school, bro. But that's a lot of work whenever he's in corporate, bro. He's in corporate America.
That's somebody that can get on social media and talk that talk. Because, like I said,
bro, and he's not that at all. He's still, bro, I told you.
Coming on here.
Yeah, bro, I was thinking about, I'm telling you, he'll put so much, stuff out there. But he's no different than anybody else. The only difference is that he continuously put that work in.
He's the student to life. It sounds like he's studious, and that's what we got to be, whether it's in the course or just really our experiences of life. You got to be studious. To have that commitment to actually be in, as far as courses and classes, that's different.
And me in my position, I'm like, you just got that bonus. I'm like, I wish I had that bonus, but I didn't do nothing to deserve that. Right. Really, I didn't work for that. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, if I'm being honest with myself, like I didn't work for that. I mean, I didn't go to school for 14, 15 years. You know what I'm saying? I didn't take consecutively, like, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, okay, he deserved that.
Yeah.
You know, he worked for it. And that's just kind of how I'm not about to look at my situation and then look at his, be like, why can't I be him? I know why I can't. I know why I'm not. Yeah, I can't. How could I possibly expect me to live that same life if I did not put that work in?
That's when you kill your confidence, like Brother Man was saying. Though.
Absolutely. And I think stuff like that is just funny because, again, social media do it to you. I mean, you see it all the time. Like, people always, you know, they might have went on vacation 3 years ago. And they might post that same picture.
Archive photo.
Yeah, the archive photo.
Archive
we'll be back soon. You know what I'm saying? Not doing nothing to go back soon.
You need to do what you did last time, let alone doing something more.
For real, absolutely. And it's just, but, you know, it's kind of, it's hard to see. Social media sometimes could just be like, man. It
can be despair.
It definitely. I mean, and shoot, trust me, I got photos of my thing. Like, man, that was a nice time, you know. And they showed memories and stuff like that. But it's like, you know, I can't wait to go back. But it's like I'm actually trying. I'm doing it. Like I'm doing the groundwork. Like you know what I'm saying. And I understand some people are doing it too. You know what I'm saying? And it's
trust it. Then if you're doing it, just trust it.
That's it.
I mean, if you're traveling the miles, you'll get to the destination.
Absolutely.
Like at the end of the day. So if you can trust that and not worry about the shortcut that somebody else took, or if they even did travel the miles, maybe they like caught a ride. They might have carpooled with somebody. You worry about they ain't put no gas in the car. Listen, do what it takes for you to get where you need to go, and then just focus. And that's when your confidence is at an all-time high because. And also realizing that confidence is not circumstantial, right? Like, you lose tomorrow, Tom Brady loses. I'm sorry, the GOAT always get mentioned. Tom Brady loses tomorrow, he don't think he's not a GOAT no more. You know what I mean? Like, I lost.
You know what's funny?
I won 7 in a row. Yeah, I mean, or whatever the case may be. So
it's crazy because that's life, bro. Like people who got them supreme confidence, it don't matter what you do to them. They're never shook.
Those are the outliers, right? Where they take those experiences and have it motivate. I lost, so now I'm looking forward to winning.
Exactly,
instead of claiming the loser.
Hey, that's all it is. That's all it is.
It's leverage and it's the resiliency in it all. Like, and I'm sure we all have, you know, and we'll speak to this. We'll transition it there. We all got trauma that we can use for that same leverage in our life that ultimately excels us. You know, that's where the perseverance comes from, is because there's something in our life that fuels us that maybe like it might look like coal, but it's still coal is a fuel to you know to get us to move our vehicle. So it's like
absolutely.
You know, speaking of Verge, you know, I know, bro, you've been through some traumatic things. You know, you spoke to some things just as far as, you know, your disconnect from childhood and you having to go there and forgive your inner child and some things. Would you like to speak to any of those things in this moment?
Yeah, man, just taking the time to process all you've been through in life is important for all of us because a lot of us is carrying weight that we don't even know we're carrying. You thought you done sorted everything out.
Oh, until you start crying about it. And you like, I didn't even think I was going to cry until you get that moment with yourself. And you start crying and you're like, whoa, okay, maybe that needed to come out.
Yes. And that was me actually a month ago when I sat still and I started to like bawl like a baby for hours. And it was needed. And as a man, it's weird, man, because like I was crying and I'm like, am I crying correctly? It's so weird. Like, am I crying correctly? Am I getting this out? And I am getting better with that. Like,
that's good.
You know, being able to speak through those times of grief and to really just be authentic and true. Like, this world makes you somebody else. Along the way, you get robbed of your true essence. Looking at how my daughter is just growing up and she just is into everything. You can't tell her nothing. Where did we lose that along the way? We lost that from the people who are naysayers, the people who have lack of experience, that been through things that robbed them of that true essence. We lose that. So being still and cutting off the noise has allowed me to get back into that. Right? I'm a man of faith, and God is so powerful.
Talk about it.
So powerful. And you'll hear God whenever you're still, and you'll be able to know that it's God because of what it's being said to you. What is being said
and how it's being delivered.
Why is this happening right now? What's going on? This is weird. But why do I understand? So to talk to your point again, Des, just I had to learn how to forgive too myself, learn how to ask for help, to communicate in these times. It's important, right? You lose that.
I mean, that's pretty traumatic within itself, knowing your first, you know, when you really need help as a man. Like that time when you really need help. When you tell yourself you need help. You know, that's a hard thing to swallow.
It's vulnerable.
Yo, super. Because even with yourself, bro, it's hard to just be like, you know what? I need help. Like, it's so hard to do that because you like, I can do it. I'll fix it.
And that's the problem. That's the trap all men fall into. Men don't fall into this trap now. Where you feel like you can take on everything and you could do everything. Don't fall into the trap because you can't. I promise you, there is weight that will hold you down to the ground and you will not be able to get up. And that's whenever you're going to be tapping out and asking for help. Hey, I actually need, a couple dollars. Hey, can you help me do this? Hey, ask for help.
Whether it's God, your inner self, to dig deep, you know what I'm saying? Your family, your people, your community that we talked about, it's okay to ask for help. And it's okay to give in, to be like, you know what? All right, it's time.
There's people who want to help you. There's people who love to help. It makes them feel good, and you don't know that because you're like, I can do it. I can handle everything by myself. I don't need no help. You want to just burn out because that's what entrepreneurship culture these days teach you is burnout culture.
I think it's the wrong teachings of entrepreneurship.
Absolutely.
Because the people, like my mentor, for example, he has his mentors and everything, and they're entrepreneurs, and he told me it should be super healthy, to be honest. Yes. But the way, again, we come from that hustler mindset, we come from that grinded out grit, which I love. I love being gritty, I love getting dirty, I love that stuff. But there has to be it has to be calculated in a sense. Yes. You can't just go grind blindly. I can't just go in the gym and start lifting 200 and something pounds with no warm-ups, no nothing like that, because I'm going to hurt myself. Yeah. It's exactly the same way that is life, bro. Right. You can't go in full force doing way more that you can handle because your body won't hold up eventually. Yeah. And that same thing works with your mind, bro. You can't burn yourself out because if you're giving back to everything and going so hard at everything mentally, it burns you out to a point now you're out for a month just mentally because you just need to reset. Now that might set you back.
Coming from 2 months of depression, and I was depressed for these last 2 months, and I literally, I'm so glad he who has a wife has a good thing.
Yeah, come on.
That's a great thing because she is able to see things that I am not able to see.
Sorry.
And she's seen through all of the pain and knew what I needed to do. And I listened to her.
That's love.
And she allows and helps me to grow so much.
Shout out wifey, man. Shout out wifey. You know what I'm saying? We hope you watching because you doing your thing over there.
Yeah, one of the things that give her bouquet.
Oh yeah. Thank you, baby. So one of the things that she taught me is how to express myself.
Okay.
She's like, you just always act like there's nothing going on, like nothing affects you and everything like that.
Such a man.
Such a man. Why don't you get upset or show when you're sad or anything like that? And working on these things allowed me to be more
that's
real.
That boy right there. I'll tell you, that's him, bro.
You be like, okay, but inside you shaking. You are shaking. And literally had to learn how to not do this because you weak when you do that.
Come on.
Weak.
And one little thing, you're tripping. Yeah, set. Man,
you're so sensitive and pent up because you got so much. So allowing yourself, and I learned this along the way, your emotions are okay.
Right.
These emotions are here because they're meant to be experienced, not because you're meant to ignore them because of what culture is saying. If we have anger, be angry, but don't hold on to the anger.
Yeah. Learning how to express it is the difference. Yes. That's there's one way to express anger, sadness, happiness, all this and that, but you have to do it in a controlled way to where it's healthy for you, because you don't want to harm things. Around you, harm people around you or nothing like that. Yeah, you have to do it with love. And you have to, again, kind of forgive yourself within that moment. It's like, okay, you know what? I know I feel like this, and this is okay.
Because I'm human.
You're human,
bro. We all experience emotions. Why would we think that anger and upsetness is bad? We all chasing happiness.
And I think that's what makes some men, depressed, though. It's not knowing how to express themselves. I mean, it made me, it made me go through some stuff because I wasn't allowed to at the time, and I didn't know how to. So it's I understand that feeling of feeling like you feel so bottled up, you can't do nothing, there ain't no way to go, and it puts you into some deep thoughts about some negative ways, you know what I'm saying? And it's and that alone, you learn a lot about yourself within that time, but it's still very hard to deal with, and I understand why men typically go through these things a little bit more than women per statistics,
pressure.
Our culture tells us that we shouldn't cry and vent. Because women do this stuff well. They go through something, they right on the phone with their girlfriend. Hey, you wouldn't believe what happened.
Mom or something. Yeah, absolutely.
If we go through something, we throw it into work.
Yeah, come on.
That ain't getting it resolved and expressed and worked out. That adds on to the rock that our culture teaches us to be. What does the rock do? It destroys. It just is there. It's heavy. It's not who we should be. We're human, and we should tap into that emotional side of us sometimes.
Absolutely.
You got to, because you need that release, through all the pressure in life, as a man, as a woman, it don't matter.
What we call it, the valve. That we need
you need a valve. You got to have that release, because whatever it is, life inevitably brings pressure. It don't matter, what type of life you have, whether it's you the entrepreneur or you the 9-to-5 worker, you the husband or you the single man. There's some pressures of life coming at you some angle, and it's inevitable. So it's like just having that release. We talk about therapy, we talk about doing things that is just out of purpose. Talk about helping people, being a service to people. These are like a lot of outlets for you to release different ways. Find your way of being creative. Whatever it may be. That's and everybody has a unique way how to express themselves, but overall, your emotions definitely have to be understood. You have to grow that emotional intelligence, which is something that you're taught. You don't just it's not a given. You have to learn it, and then you have to learn how to tap into it. And like you said, like be expressive about those things. So when you're angry, being able to communicate that you're angry without being violent. You know what I mean? Being sad without being depressed. Like these are these emotions. They're all, our nervous system is built that way for a reason, to send signals so you can go to that emotion and see like, well, what happened here? Like it's like when you stub your toe hurts so much, and because I hit my toe. It's the same thing with emotions. You just got to go to that root of it, that core of it, and see, well, what happened here? So my relationship we broke up. Well, what happened here? My heart's broken. You know what I mean? So now I'm sad and this and that, but you go to it and you get to see, what the filler can be. You just do that healing process, but you can't even heal without acknowledging pain to begin with. So having that awareness of emotion, which is something you taught me a lot, bro, awareness. You taught me, you have, throughout our relationship and being in our shared spaces, you have definitely pointed out being aware a lot. And I'm heavy on that. I never looked at it as awareness. I just looked at it as being kind of observational, which is essentially, the same thing, but potentially the same thing. But you taught me that by being intentional of really, going to the value, to the core value of things, and really like, well, why that make you feel like that, And if you could speak to that, bro, because
I go back to kids, man. Kids are a gift to this world because they come from the other side and they're still there a little bit, so we get to learn a lot from them. And they don't hold back anything. Right. Children are raw.
They are ruthless, is what they is.
They are raw. And we get to learn a lot about that, and that's what I deploy in my everyday life. You want to have that childlike curiosity to stay within you, to continue to thrive within you, so you can continue to develop. Like watching my daughter learn how to walk, you see that persistence of never wanting to give up. So when you pour that into every facet of your life, you're able to do so much with that.
Yeah, because you don't see a kid try to walk and then they fall, and you don't just be like, this kid's a crawler. He's going to be a crawler. He's not going to walk. It's just going to be a crawler. Right. But like you said, they keep trying and trying and trying over and over again until they get it, and they keep practicing. And man, kids are funny, bro. I ain't gonna lie. So as you know, obviously I've been boxing and stuff like recently for like the past 2 months. Maybe I've been, but I'm in there working on my jab, hitting the bags, whatever. Some of the other fighters and stuff, they bring their kids in. Like, why you punch like that? What you mean? Because other dudes are hitting like the bag super hard, haymaker, you know what I'm saying, or like hitting combos and stuff. And I'm sitting there working on my 1-2, like jab straight, and they like, and they not even talking to me though, bro. They talking to the other kids. Like, why he punch like that? And I'm like, oh, come on, bro. You got me thinking about how I punch. I punch like a girl or something. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying women can't punch. You know what I'm saying? I'm just, expression. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's funny though, because kids, bro, they are straight up. They were straight up. Exactly how they feel, it. Exactly what they're thinking, it. Exactly what they're trying to do or getting at, it. Because they're so pure and innocent, where they don't see no wrong in it, right? And I'm not saying for any of that they're necessarily wrong, but that's just how innocent they are. But
people teach us that we're wrong in our we put ourselves in a box. We can't even express ourselves correctly because people say, oh, no, don't do that. Don't talk like that. You want to offend them. Well, what about me? What about me taking care of my myself and how I feel. But I'm supposed to limit my speak. Of course, be respectful, but get it off. Talk. Say what you need to, like that kid said to his friend, but wasn't just being rude. He was just observing, like, yo, why he punching like that? But we even lose the ability to do that.
Right.
And you know what? It's funny because you always hear, oh, like, don't cry because that's what girls do or something like that. Which, I mean, I understand why they're saying that. Like, yes, you want tough, you want to make sure kids mentally tough and, can withstand what this world has to show them when they get older. You know what I'm saying? But you also have to teach them how to express that. If they're not crying right now, you got to ask them, okay, so what's wrong? Because typically when a kid's crying and stuff, and it's not like a physical pain, but they're just hurt, like their feelings are hurt, and you be like, okay, stop crying, but tell me what's wrong. Let's talk about it. They'll stop crying, and they'll tell you, like, why they feel a certain way. Now, if you tell them no again, they'll probably go start crying again, but that's just,
they understood it though.
Yeah, because you're allowing them to express themselves on why they are crying or why they're sad, and they understand that from a young age on why they feel the way they do, and that's okay. And if they keep crying, that's their kids. That's what they're going to do. They don't quite understand. But it's like, okay, yeah, you can stop crying. Tough it out, whatever. And I get that because I'm all for it. You know what I'm saying? I'm all for it. Like, okay, be strong, be mentally tough, Sure. But you also need to teach them how to express themselves. You can't just tell them, oh, don't cry because that's for wimps. And they're never supposed to cry ever again in their life because they know that they're about to get scolded by their parents for crying. And it's just not it's not healthy.
Suppress them at that point. That's what all emotions really. You can't teach kids what not to do and not teach them what to do. You know what I mean? And even adults, you know what I mean? Like, we go in the workforce and people will tell you what not to do. Sometimes it's like, okay, well, what do I do? Exactly. It's like there's no guidance here. So if there's no guidance, I'm going to do what I do. Whatever makes sense to me. Hopefully if I got enough rationale to make something make sense, I'm gonna do that. But if not, forgive me because you ain't telling me what to do. So that's kids, but that's that innocent mind you were speaking of, and that less they operate more subconsciously than we do as adults because, like you said, as throughout years of being cultivated, we are taught to be conscious, but within confinement. Right. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're taught to think about things, but limitly think about it.
But you know what? I think that's just the way of the world. And I think that's why it's extremely important to have your community, your wife, your partner, you know what I'm saying? Or your home, just in general with your kids, wife, all that to be a sanctuary of expression. Like, because now you think about it, kind of compounds in a way that your kids can bring their friends over there. Absolutely. It's a free space for them to express themselves. For me, that was important because I didn't really learn how to express myself till I was about, 23 years old. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's when
you remembered how to express yourself because as a child, you did.
I did.
You got
rediscovered.
Because that's all we do throughout our life is we rediscover those moments and it allows us to be true again.
Absolutely.
That's when we feel aligned.
Absolutely. They're absolutely right. And that's kind of like what it is, but you don't want to, I don't know, you just don't want to put your kid. I don't have any kids, so it's hard for me to necessarily speak on it. But I do have godchildren. I have nieces and stuff, so I understand how it is working. Being with them,
relationships that you communicate through.
Absolutely, and I see how certain things affect them, and how and where mine was kind of like, okay, I was just never really the expressive type. Like, obviously when I was a child, before I kind of grew consciousness of like, but when I guess maybe preteens and stuff like that throughout my adult years, I wasn't really expressive. But
you get judged on our expression. Don't nobody want to go through that.
Absolutely.
If you are okay and comfortable with expressing yourself and you pop off whenever you need to, you don't want nobody looking at you as an angry person.
And it's different. Like, we talked about it too. Like, it's different between expressing yourself and like complaining.
That is different. You know what I'm saying? You hold on to that and make it your identity.
Absolutely, because some people they feel like they're just expressing themselves, but really they're just complaining, like about this is like real life stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're just I understand you. Like, you know what I'm saying? I feel for you, but like at some point you have to understand that there's a reason you feel this way, and you have to actively do something to change that.
That's why awareness is key.
Yeah,
right. Going back to that, that's why awareness is key, because without it, you are not paying attention that you're in a cycle.
Right.
That cycle that you're in right now, that complaining cycle, because you're not doing nothing about the original issue and problem, is why you're complaining. Is now why you have stopped yourself from expressing the first initial emotion. Then now it became more of your identity. Right. You were just angry because of something that happened to you in your life. Now you have not expressed it. Now you have become an angry person.
Right. You grew an identity towards it. That's good.
And then they let the same thing anger them again in the future.
Exactly.
Because it's who you is. And people say, this is who I am. And it's like, you can't label yourself
It's not
to an
justifiable.
emotion.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't label yourself by
They
emotion.
fleet.
I mean, they're so fickle, and they change from 1 minute to the next. So how could you ever say I'm this, I'm not, based off of an emotion? Like, no, you're a being of something, but that emotion, that's temporal.
Absolutely.
That's temporal.
Yeah, they like that awareness, man.
So walking through your emotions, that's something you became more in tune with your emotions and more aware. And I'm sure, through some life experiences that probably gave you a good foundation for some things that happened in your life. So, I'm sure, you probably have a lot of action steps that you learned that actually, you could probably give others that help you get through things, built on faith, built on your relationship that you're building with God, built on a relationship that you're building with your wife, with your daughter. Virgil, shout out to him because he's a father, he's a husband, a black father, a black husband. Shout out to that because
a black queen.
Man, come on now. Oh man, I love it because just seeing the pictures from your wedding, I'm like, black love. Nothing like it. Black love. But those things obviously they look great, they sound great, but the greatness of them. I don't think we know the insides of them and how they were, what it took to build them, what it took to actually build this, the demolition that came first before the construction and things such as. So, man, again, I know you've been through some things that have brought you to a different type of resilience, bro. Yeah. And I'm sure it becomes liberating to speak to it because I know I've seen your growth just throughout a short amount of time, bro, between those things. And sort of so much more to go, but it's been amazing to watch thus far, the growth that you have came through, and it's just the resilience, bro. Just the resilience through those things, and
nothing but God.
And when you know, when you're a witness to something, and and I knew in that instance watching you go through that, I was like, wow, God's about to God, and because I've seen it before to close people near me, and. Just watching it happen through you, it was like, and then just seeing it now, it's so amazing to me, and it's indescribable. But if you would like to speak to any of that yourself, and any ram that you would like to, I don't even want to.
I got you, bro. So, again, man, just having my wife being there. Number one, I'm a very intentional person, and my idea behind marriage is like no more games. So everything has to be intentional. Everything has to be very just specific. In my eye, we could work on it, whatever, get the details right. But intent is the number one thing. And when we first started, and this is going to lead up to your question, we were intentional about what we were looking for, which people like in dating, vetting your partner. I said, if I'm going to have a wife, she's going to have these qualities. But first, let me work on me.
Got you.
Right? So I got myself together to where I'm more comfortable to being with somebody. So now I'm when we got together, we sat down, and I remember our first date, we were like firing questions at each other and was like, okay, cool, you want kids, I want kids, you want to get married, I want to get married, what's important, you want money, okay, you looking for a leader, I'm a leader, all right, cool, let's get it. And we very communicative in our relationship. That helps us get through every aspect and real about it and check each other about or flaws and things that we need to work on. We talked about this. What's going on? Like, and not being afraid because it's all love. So the thing that helps us get through our issues in life, because we recently, we had a daughter and she passed. And that moment is the biggest test that I wish no one to ever go through, right? Like, it really, really breaks you down, right? But having that support, number one, from your family, from your spouse, from everybody around you, that love and having that faith with God is what allows you to get through it, and praying and going through the emotions and just letting it flat. Bro, you got to let them emotions go. You got to let it go. Don't hold on. Sit with yourself. Be in silence. And that's what I had to go through. Like, I literally, we talk about what's going on with us. You said, let me be there for you. You crying, let it out. She didn't know how to handle my crying, but she rubbed my back and she was there for me and let me know it's okay. And that is what really made us strong, is just that communication between both of us and the integrity behind it, knowing that it's love. So I'm going to check you on your stuff right now. Don't you talk under your breath around me. Just like I shouldn't do that because that doesn't show me that I respect you. And what do we stand on? Respect in our relationship. So we always got to bring each other back to our core values in our relationship, because in families, they used to have like the family crest. I'm all about tradition.
Yeah,
So
I love it too. Yeah.
what are our 4 core values in our family that we need to stand by and hold each other accountable for? That when we start to get off track, we could go back to them and say, are we being this? Are we being about communication? Are we tapping into the spirit? Are we doing things that align with what we said, who we are from the beginning? If not, we need to work on this. And don't ever be afraid to talk about it. If you don't like something, talk about it.
Yeah.
Because that's where people mess up in relationships, and when they go through life, they can't have nobody be there for them if they don't talk about it. So that's what I would say is that our ability to communicate with one another is what really took us through every moment. Just dealing with our daughter passing, dealing with anything, complicated pregnancies, both of them, right? So like just being there. It's
and talking, kind of understanding each other in a way. Even when you guys don't talk, I'm sure there's still some sort of communication going on. It's
I
like
understand.
body language and, how they're eating, how they're feeling, how they look, like, how they're taking care of themselves.
You're going to sense these things because it becomes a part of your energy field, like how someone feels. We all have an energy field. And we can feel it. When something's off, if any of us were angry right now, we would feel it. And that's what we feel. We're tapped in. We're both empaths. We understand when a certain emotion is coming through, and we call it and talk to each other about that.
Absolutely. So,
yeah.
That's big. So you say communication is probably number one, you think, for
It
your
is number
relationship?
one. The thing that I based our everything off is communication. If we cannot communicate, then we cannot be together. Then we can't understand where we're going, where we're headed, or where we came from. Because now we're operating as 2 different people, and it's supposed to be one unit. How can we operate sufficiently if we're not talking about the real stuff?
One band, one sound.
One band, one sound. I told her, and that's crazy that you said that. Right? I said on the day of our marriage, I said we were dancing by ourselves before we got together, but now we dance together forever. I said when you move, I move, just like that.
Just like
you know what I'm saying?
That's great though. You definitely need that comprehension, like between any relationship, let alone husband and wife. Like you said, we're one, but even as brothers, as we communicate, we got to comprehend each other, or what can we really get done? Like even having a relationship with God, if you don't comprehend God, what can He do for you in your life? So it's like that. Take it anywhere with a child, business partner, job, relationship, you name it. There has to be that comprehension. There has to be that communication. And obviously, as humans, especially as Americans, talking is our way of communicating. So it's our primary source.
Because when we don't talk, we're left to leave that person to assume. To assume, and that creates its own narrative.
It's
and
dangerous.
Then it spins everything out of control, and that's dangerous.
It's super. Bro, I tell myself that now, like, and it's probably laid this down strongly within this past 16 months. Nice. Where I'm like, if I got a problem with somebody, I got to talk to them. If I don't talk to them, I'm not letting nothing fill that blank as an assumption. I'm not saying, well, maybe they're not talking to me because of this. Maybe this is how it happened. Maybe this is how they feel. Yeah. I'm not putting nothing there until I talk to them. So, because we love to be the know-it-alls. We love to have it all figured out. Yeah. And we know how assumption goes. Like, you want to assume such and such, especially when you know somebody already. Yeah. If you know somebody, you really want to assume that you know how you know what I mean? But it's facts. Like, no, until I talk, until they actually communicate, until we actually have that comprehension between each other, I'm leaving that blank. So it's such an imperative concept to grasp. And like you said, in our communities, it lacks so much. And by design, by trauma, by generation, like as a curse almost. There's so many reasons, so many variables on why we lack it, but we got to be intentional about really growing that. And I love that that's happening within your household, because like you said, that was a foundation to get you through a hard part of your life.
Absolutely. I
guarantee you, if you don't talk within those moments, you don't get through that moment.
Not at all. It needs to be expressed. We're expressive beings, and if you don't express what's inside of you, it's going to come out in ways that you don't even plan for. Absolutely. That's why people become real passive, because they don't learn to express themselves, so it comes out in other ways. Like, that's why we call people smart Alex and all kinds of names and stuff like that, because they thought that they are choosing the right way to express themselves. Don't express your anger like that. Come on, under your breath and slick and to do something to make you feel like you got yours. You feel me? Like, put that down.
Like you said, it's such a projection thing though, and once you become aware of it, you can be more. You could be more forgiving to other people though, let alone life. Like once you are understanding that in life, like you don't attach yourself to the personal things that come about circumstances and situations, especially when it's something that like has more of a pull towards you when you're trying to push. Like, and that's just so good, bro. That's so good. I'm glad y'all were able to, you know, build that type of foundation to be able to, you know, be resilient in a time such as, because I'm sure there's been people out there who didn't have, weren't as blessed to have that foundation.
Unfortunately, I know them people that I'm close with. You know what I mean? My sister lost her oldest daughter, and my niece, my first niece, and it's still struggles with it to this day. It's when you need people there. Yeah. You going to lose your mind. Yeah. You are going to lose your stuff because grief needs a witness.
Right.
Grief needs a witness.
That's good, bro. That's good.
That's where I got that from. My wife.
Shout out wifey again. Yeah, shout out wifey again.
There's a wise woman out there. So, bro, I'm glad you was able to unpack that a little bit, bro. For the people, you know, this is a hard one because this guy got so much value, but you know he's off of social media right now. But can you tell people where they can find you in the future, you know, in the present, and when they want to connect with you as far as business, maybe they want to learn they want to learn how to communicate effectively. You know what I mean? There's some things. So whatever, you have a couple of your socials and your business sites.
So you find me everywhere. Verge Boogie Designs everywhere.
You said Verge Boogie.
Verge Boogie because I used to dance. That was given to me.
Okay.
That was a part of me. I danced when I was like 15 16, pop locking and stuff like that.
Okay.
Still good at it to this day. I can still dance. I'm dangerous on the floor.
Catch him at the next cookout.
Y'all gonna be like, is that Verge? That's me. I never seen it before. It's here. It's him. So vergeboogie.designs.com is where you're able to find me. And then Verge Boogie Designs on X, Instagram, TikTok, everywhere, Verge Boogie Designs. But Verge more for the personal stuff.
Absolutely. I love it. All right, man. Well, shoot, man. It was good to have you on here. It's about $20. We had an hour and 22 minutes now. You know what I'm saying? It go kind of fast when you get in that conversation.
I feel like I'm just getting into it.
Yeah, I know. That's how it always feels. But, you know, that's what always makes a good round two. You know what I'm saying? Yes. For another day. That's always, you know, it's always accepted, always welcome for sure. But, no, we definitely just appreciate you having you, bro, sharing your testimonies, sharing your experiences with us. Not going to lie, bro, there's a lot of value that was poured out today, man. I really appreciate it, bro. Honestly, and for me to just get to know you a little bit better. I love it, bro. I love it. And I appreciate you. coming on.
Thank you for having me, for real.
Man, what, bro? It's huge. It was a lot. No, it is, bro. It's a great conversation. Man. Support crew, I hope you guys was tuned in. You listened, you grabbed everything, man. You can find everything that you need to know about this episode in particular, but also just for the general podcast in the link in the description or our socials, but you'll find it all there. So appreciate you guys for showing up today. We on Facebook?
No, sir.
No Facebook? All right. Well, we will check y'all next time. Brother Dez, Brother Duane, Brother Verge, man, we appreciate you guys, man. See y'all later.
Much love.
Peace.